to our monthly episode on maternal health, keeping mom and babies alive. This episode is titled It Takes a Village, Part 1. I'm your host, Jaleesa Bondurant, and am joined by committee members from the Winnebago County Health Department and the Winnebago County Action Team. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome. Every month, on the last Thursday of the month, we present on a different topic to connect our professionals and services with the public regarding maternal health. We want this to be a conversation and encourage everyone to either ask questions in the chat, or if you're on the Zoom call, leave comments. I am so backwards. If you're tuning in on the Zoom, leave your questions or comments in the chat. If you are on Facebook Live, leave your questions and comments below. We will present the series titled It Takes a Village, Supporting in Parenting, in two parts. So each agency will have time to explain the wonderful services they provide. We'll also hear from some of the program participants as well. Just before we jump in, I remember growing up hearing about It Takes a Village when it's involved with parenting and raising children. That saying is so true today. And for our area, we have the I Grow Rockford Collaborative. That is our It Takes a Village. So before we jump in, a little bit more about the I Grow Rockford Collaborative, which is a local community of agencies providing evidence-based home visiting services that work together to provide a wide range of comprehensive home visiting services to pregnant women and parenting families of children birth through age 3. It is designed to strengthen and coordinate pregnant and early childhood involvement through communities in Illinois by linking families to quality early childhood programs that promote maternal, infant, and early childhood health, safety, and development, as well as build strong parent-child relationships. The Winnebago County Health Department serves as the single point of entry to coordinate referrals of families to home visiting services in Winnebago County. The partner agencies include the City of Rockford Early Head Start Program, Children's Home and Aid Doula Program, Easter Seals, Harlem School District 122, the Prevention Initiative Program, La Voz Latina, and Rockford School District 205 Prevention Initiative Program. For today's podcast, we have the City of Rockford Early Head Start, La Voz Latina, Rockford Public Schools District 205 Prevention Initiative Program. And we are also pleased to have Kimberly Nelson, Executive Director of Early Childhood for Rockford Public Schools, to join us today to close out our webcast. Let's jump in. We're going to jump in with the City of Rockford Early Head Start. We are honored to have Amy Morris and Isla Van Howen to join us. Amy Morris has been a City of Rockford Early Head Start home visitor teacher for almost 8 years. Woo! She is a lifelong resident of Rockford and enjoys all the city has to offer. Her favorite thing about home visiting is when a family completes a goal they have been working on for some time. Her heart fills with joy and pride for the participating family. Isla Van Howen is a mother to 3 adult daughters. She is the grandmother of 5. 2 of Isla's daughters were in Head Start when they were younger. Isla has 2 of her daughters and their children, of which Isla is the guardian living with her. This is the family's 3rd year participating in the City of Rockford's Early Head Start home visiting program, and the children are in the process of transitioning to Head Start preschool and classrooms. Ladies, I turn it over to you.
All right. Hello, I'm Amy Morris, Early Head Start home visitor teacher. And joining me today is Isla. She is one of my participants, and she also has another home visitor that comes to her home to meet with her other grandchild. So she actually gets the pleasure of having 2 visits a week. So first, I'd like to tell you what a home visit is. Basically, it's a meeting with the child or pregnant mother participant, the home visitor, and the parent or guardians of the child. We provide play-based educational activities, which are guided by myself as the home visitor, but the parent or the guardian is the teacher. So when we say home visitor teacher, it's a little misleading sometimes because our focus is really with the parent being the teacher of the child and the home visitor being the facilitator. We share developmental information and referrals to other agencies that may connect the family with resources. So when I have a home visit, I usually arrive, greet the family, we sing a song, And then we catch up over what's been happening for the last week. Any updates in medical or dental information, any problems that they've had arise. And after we're done talking about that, then we get into what's the visit going to look like? What are we going to do today? What milestones might the child be exhibiting? And so then we play, and the parent or the guardian is the teacher, where we just facilitate. And then after a while, as we're continuing with the activity, we talk about the development of the child and what they're exhibiting in this particular activity. And then we recap the visit, ask the parent if they have any questions or anything that they need me to bring for the next visit, and sing a goodbye song and say our goodbyes. And that all happens in 90 minutes. So Isla, I just wanted you to tell us a little bit about what the benefits are of having a home visitor in your home.
Learning different strategies to deal with behavior issues, connecting with different resources, special activities and field trips for the whole family and with groups.
So you're talking about some resources that you've been connected to the area. So how did your home visitor help you?
Like with my GED, she helped me get started on that. So I was going through GED classes. She connected me to that and the people. And then my granddaughter got real bad sick and she had to have therapy. So she connected me through having her to have therapy.
How about necessities?
Yeah, with food, they connected us with different places. They give out food and diapers, wipes, and almost pretty much anything you need.
Good. Let's see. How is it beneficial to have me coming to the home and work with you instead of someplace else?
Because we don't have to worry about transportation. Because, well, like me, I don't have transportation. We either walk or have to take the city bus. And if the weather's bad, you don't have to take the kids out in the bad weather, or if it's pouring down rain or thundering and lightning, you don't have to take them out. And that's one of the big things that I like.
What if somebody listening wants to have a home visitor and maybe they're worried about what their house looks like? Did you ever have that? And how did you feel about after the home visitor started coming?
No, I don't. I haven't really been through that. I'm not gonna say I dust every week, but I'm not a duster. But I do, I did, I would make sure things were done, and there might have been a few dishes left, or my table might have looked like it was ready to walk off. And after the visits, I did feel bad, and I'm like, I can't do this. So.
But did you ever feel that we were judging you on the look at your home?
No.
Nah.
I mean, because I would think you guys would say something. I would think.
No worries. For people that do have that concern, I have had visits in the meeting rooms at the library. We've done visits out in a park. We pretty much anywhere that's public but has an area like off to the side, because we do talk about personal stuff. So, we just don't want to sit in the middle of a room full of people and just start discussing your business. So, but I've never felt that a family didn't feel comfortable with me coming in their home. After we build that bond of trust, it's like we're part of the family. So that's never been an issue. How about the visits with Head Start are 90 minutes? Does it feel like 90 minutes when I come?
No, it doesn't. Not really. It does not feel like 90 minutes.
It comes and goes real
It does,
fast.
real quick.
How about coming once a week? Do you feel like that's enough, that you get enough from us coming weekly?
I do and I don't. And I'll use Paige as an example because she's kind of behind. And that's because she got real bad sick. So I think, with kids like her, they should do it like twice a week. But the 1 day a week, hey, I like that.
And she also gets help from early interventions. So she actually was having somebody else.
Yeah, she did get help with them. But now they've closed her case.
Because she's turned
So
3.
She turned 3.
Yep. Yeah. So I would say now that Isla's grandchildren are 3 and they're going to be transitioning to the Head Start Rockford Public Schools preschool classrooms. Can you tell them a little bit about how we assisted you in that transition?
Oh boy, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't make it. They've been to all 3 meetings. And there was things that I didn't understand. And they would explain it to me. Like I didn't even know they would even go to Head Start until Amy and them said something about it. And I'm like, really? So they've been a big help. And if you don't have transportation, they pick you up and they take you there for the meeting and they bring you back.
Are you ready to leave home visiting?
No, I'm not. I want to cry.
Any questions from anybody in the audience?
We have no questions in the chat at this time.
Jaleesa, you're muted.
Sorry, gosh. Every webcast, that is my issue every time. Thank you guys for taking the time out to join us and share information about the home visiting program. I've really found it useful when you guys were talking about just the vulnerability it takes for people to open their homes. Because I think when you reach out for resources, you already feel a certain type of way, but then to also be in need and open your home and bear just the nakedness of the situation with an outsider. Like you said, the state of your home, like right now, my house is a mess. I would be scared somebody would want to come in and they're going to make a hotline call or something like that. But not only did you address the vulnerability that it takes from the parent side, but then also from the agency, how it's like, we're not here to judge. We're just here to help. We just want to see the family flourish. And that is the essence of, it taking a village to really come alongside those families, but then also to be in that position to receive the help and assistance. So Isla, I really appreciate you sharing your story. Good luck to your kiddos, your grandkids that you're taking care of. That's awesome. Grandparents are an amazing support system in our community, alone, outside of the services that we have. So thank you for doing that. And then Amy, thank you so much for sharing information about the home visiting program through City of Rockford's Head Start program. Just double checking to see if we have any other questions in the chat. I'm not seeing anything in the Zoom space. Katie, do we have anything on Facebook Live before we jump to the next agency?
No questions at this time.
Awesome. All righty. So now we're going to jump into La Voz Latina. We will have Monica Lozano joined by Kristen Wanland. Monica has been a family support specialist with the YWCA for 4.5 years. Her favorite part of home visiting is making personal connections and forming relationships with the families that she supports. Monica enjoys spending time with her family, listening to audiobooks. Her favorite author at the moment is Tessa Bailey. So Monica, I will hand it over to you to talk about your home visiting program.
Well, hello, everyone. So I work here with La Voz Latina, or YWCA, and we specialize in home visiting, and we typically go, we spend time with the family from the time that the child is, or the mother is prenatal, till the child is 3 years old, and we use the Healthy Families America model. And we have, so it's 3 of us, 3 home visitors or family support workers, and my supervisor, Christian Wanland, in our team. And we each have up to 12 families on our caseload, which gives us, we literally spend like 3 years with each family in our caseload. So we get to know them, very well, and we get very attached to them very quickly. So yeah, it's a little background on our program. I don't know, Christian, do you have anything else to add about our program?
Yeah, so we enroll families prenatally up until baby's 3 years of age. And then a lot like Amy spoke about as far as doing home visits, we come into the home, and obviously with the COVID and those types of things that have really brought services and being able to do virtual in some capacity when there are concerns about health and safety. So we are returning to in-person services, but able to do virtual in some capacity when it's a need for the family or for the home visitors if there's health concerns in that way. And much like Amy, we come into the home and we're there as a support for the families, and the parents are the experts and really lead the home visit in guiding the discussions. If there's questions about the child's development or different resources within the community that we can help connect with, we complete developmental screenings on the home visits to ensure that the children are developmentally on track. And sometimes that's not a concern, and sometimes there are things that we just might need to focus a little bit more time on, and if needed can support with a referral to early intervention for those specialized services. The frequency of our visits are really dependent on the age of the child and the family's needs. So sometimes we can visit much more frequently, weekly, and in special circumstances we can do up 2 visits a week. Then we can move into bi-weekly visits and then monthly visits. And at any time during that, if somebody wants to return back to weekly and see us more often throughout the month, we can certainly do that. Our model with Healthy Families, we do 60-minute visits. And again, sometimes that goes longer into 90 minutes. And many times I think it could go even longer than that, but our goal is for 60 minutes. We do a lot of various activities throughout home visits. One of our favorites is scrapbooking with the families. So we have the opportunity to learn a lot about the family and the children and kind of keepsaking those memories for them for the future. And Monica, do you have anything to add about that? Oh, we do use a curriculum. Yeah, we use the Partners for Healthy Baby curriculum, and that just helps us when parents have questions. we're not the experts in all things. So we go out and find those resources too and can bring them back. And all of our curriculum or handouts that we do bring into those home visits are evidence-based, and it's not just us finding biased material. They're all evidence-based and research-based. Oh, and we weren't able to have a parent participant, unfortunately, today, but Monica did have some good feedback from a participant about the benefits that she found in home visiting. So I'll let you speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, no, we've graduated a few families this month, and just hearing their feedback and what a difference home visiting has made in their parenting skills. It's so nice to hear. You know, some moms go through postpartum depression, and having that support person there for them, or just to answer any question that they have, from, you know, the developmental stages to what high chair should they use for their child. They just, the feedback I've got is that they love having that extra support. So it's very nice to hear.
That's phenomenal. I love that you guys mentioned that it's evidence based, that you guys aren't pretending to like, I have all the answers. But being that transparent, it makes us as professionals, or you guys, because you guys are the champions doing this work. It makes it more human. Like we're just humans trying to do this thing together. And the fact that you guys, one of the goals is to do that scrapbooking project with the families. Not only are you learning the people, but it's like their culture, and it's appreciating their culture, how they're choosing to raise their kids. And again, you're not saying like it should be done this way based off of what society says, but merging those two things, their culture as well as the evidence-based practices. Let me see. I do have a couple things in the chat. We have one comment. Dr. Martell just wants to say, shout out, congratulations again to all the graduates of the YWCA programs, and good to hear all the positive feedback. Another question, can Monica share maybe what are those unusual things that she sometimes support families with? I'm thinking may helping Spanish speaking parents to translate certain documents. What are the requirements to receive services? Do participants need to show official IDs?
Oh, no, yeah, we've definitely helped participants with filling out forms, whether, you know, the ones that need our assistance with that are Spanish speaking. And I'm sorry, what was the other part?
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, I have
So-
it here. Sorry, they do not have to show official IDs. We never ask for their identification. We do have a form that we do before the families enroll to our program, which is like an eligibility screener. And I think that's as far as we go. We don't ask for any ID, we don't ask for social, we don't ask for anything like that. So yeah, as long as they are eligible for our program, we can help, we can support them.
And some of those eligibility things on the screener are asking about, if you're familiar with like adverse childhood experiences, we're asking about, is there a history of domestic violence, risk factors and stressors that might be present in their life that as home visitors and as our program that we can support them in, and it gives us an idea of what resources would be a good option to connect them with or bring up in the future for that.
Thank you, ladies. Any other messages that we're seeing on Facebook?
No other messages at this time, Jalissa.
Awesome. Alrighty, well, we will keep the show moving. We are now going to jump in and hear from representatives from RPS 205's Prevention Initiative program. We'll start off with Jasmine and Meenakshi. Jasmine has been a parent educator with RPS for about a year, but has been doing home visiting for the past 3 years. Her passion for working with children was discovered her senior year of college during an internship. The children at the internship still hold a special place in her heart. Once she graduated, she knew she wanted to continue. She enjoys getting to know her families and growing with them. They teach her something new every day. And then Meenakshi and son joined the program when her son was 3 months old. The family immigrated to the US from India when her husband took a job in Rockford. Meenakshi participated and completed groups whenever offered. Prior to her son transitioning to preschool, Meenakshi applied for her visa, became a substitute, and is now a full-time paraprofessional. Congratulations. That's so exciting. Ladies, I'll hand it over to you guys. Jasmine, did you want to kick it off?
Yeah, okay. So I'm Jasmine. I'm the parent educator in Prevention Initiative Home Visiting Program through RPS. I know it's a handful to say, but similar to the other programs, we basically offer home visiting as well, unless family would like to do virtual or if they want to meet in a public place. I've also met in a park before because it's really nice out. Families want to be outside, and I get it. So we've met outside in public places as well, depending on, we do talk about personal things as well, just because, families go through different situations and every family's different. So they're each going through something. So it's just different topics that we talk about, but we also basically, so what we do is we always give the parent-child an activity to do. It's the parent-child interaction, we call it. It's our activity. And we basically just sit there and we observe them do the activity, and then we talk about it afterwards. Like, what did you notice? Like, were you surprised that he was able to say this word? And, last time you said he was trying to say it, but it wasn't just there yet. And you'd be surprised that some families actually do get, like, you can tell by the families' faces, like their face lights up and they're like, I didn't know he could do that. He's never done that before. And it's exciting to see that part of the visit. But it's also exciting to talk about the other parts too. So we have an activity that we do, and then we also talk to the parent about their behaviors and how that is affecting the child. And not only that, but like just talking about different things like doctor's appointments, like, have you been going to the checkups? You had a concern that he had this rash or something, stuff like that. And we just give them information. We also use a curriculum. We use parents as teachers, and they give us a lot of information about different things. And sometimes it's very helpful for the families because they look through everything and they're like, can we go over this one more time? And that's okay, because we initially go with the plan to talk about these discussions, but then sometimes it goes in an entirely different direction, which is okay, because it's up to the family as long as we're discussing what they need to discuss with us and making sure we're pointing them to the right directions. And then we also focus on the family together within itself, because we all know what it's like to be in a family, and knowing that your parent is going through something or your sibling is going through something. We like to check up on things such as that, and maybe even refer the families to any resources that are needed. But that's the visiting portion. We also refer families to like events that we have. We have events every single month. We have some that are reoccurring, so every month that happen, but then we also have like specific ones. We have a lot of events outside right now because of the summer. So those are fun, and we encourage families to attend those events just to, come play outside, be with the kiddos, and not just that, but to get to know other parents as well. Because it can be difficult being at home, being a parent, and just not knowing what to do sometimes. But if you're out there exploring with other parents and you start talking and, they start to talk about different things or similar things that their child may be going through. So yeah, that's pretty much what we do. Meenakshi, I don't know if you want to add anything.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you, Jalisa, for such a wonderful introduction. And for this program, any words are really few. I have benefited a lot from this program. It has given me, as it was said, a wide range of facilities it has provided me with. I was struggling, whether it is like being a stay-at-home mom previously or during the COVID situation. It has really helped me to cope up all the emotions and to give my kids something very useful and resourceful, what is available for us. The resources they have provided was very apt. It was during the transition for each and every year. Like I was with them, with my younger one, 3 months, and I did my graduation. It was my emotional day. I was felt I didn't want to leave this program at all. Uh, Personally, also, I benefited a lot from this program. I was, like they said, they connected with us personally, like health-wise. They set a goal monthly. What is personal achievements, what the family achievements and the kid achievements, which we felt like we have to do, doing all the works in a day, because that goes along, the life goes along with this special moments when it happens, it gives a good memory. I have something on my table too. I want to show this program has given me this on one of the dad workshops they did together. It is a memory sake for me, for my, like the kids. I have the 2 boys. During the visits and during the activity sessions, which before COVID also, we used to get made along with other parents. I made a very good friend during this program. I met during the activity session. So I can say that like I have made a couple of friends during this program. So that is the moment for me, which I'll carry lifelong. Some of the I think a couple of things is like strong relationship. It has made me more confident as a mom. During the doctor visits, if I miss something, my home visitor used to help me with so many things. She used to keep me on tabs, whether I have done this, whether I have taken the precautions, what is supposed to be done. So it has helped me immensely. During the home visit, when she used to come, I never felt like I have to be like concerned about the looks or not. No, she made it so comfortable in each and every visit, whether it was porch visit, whether it's inside, even audio visit, we have done the video visit. It was so good. I miss my sessions. Really, I miss my sessions. With her. So yeah, and everything they have, from protection to safety, everything they have provided me. As a mom, I say they have given me the best services. I love that services, and I recommend people to really join it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And then Jasmine, thank you for presenting on the program through RPS. I love the getting other parents connected, creating that community, that support system. Like Meenakshi said, like she will have friendships that are going to last a lifetime. But I can't imagine what this process has been like going through COVID. But the fact that you did this through COVID, still came out with lifelong friends and partners through the events. That's awesome. And then also the fact that, you mentioned that it's almost like parent led, like parents get to tell us what they need today. Like, of course, like, yes, you guys are still doing the curriculum and giving them the resources that they need, but it gives them a sense of ownership of how things are going to go for that visit. So amazing. So to wrap it up, I'm going to hand it over to Kimberly Nelson. She is the Executive Director of Early Childhood for Rockford Public School. She is a graduate of NIU and St. Xavier University. She has a bachelor's degree in education with endorsements and approvals in early childhood, elementary, and special education, a master's degree in educational leadership and education and teacher leadership. Ow, like her credentials. Shout out to Kimberly Nelson. This is amazing. Nelson supervises the district's early childhood program of more than 2,500 students ages 3 to 5, as well as birth to 3 home visit program that serves 180 families. As a Barbara Bauman Leadership Fellow and Erickson Institute, Nelson adheres to the foundational principles of quality, access, and equity in all aspects of her work to ensure young children and their families can meet their greatest potential.
Thank you. So, I just really want to say, first of all, thank you to not only our parents that are on the call right now from all the different programs to all the different providers. Thanks to Winnebago Health Department to put this together, because the importance of early learning is just tremendous. It's a huge undertaking for all of us, not only as parents, but as the providers that have supported our families and young children, especially through the pandemic. It has been a challenge. I think if any one of us would have said, we're going to do virtual home visits with under 3, we would all been like, never. But they really rose to the occasion to make sure that our parents had what they needed when they needed it. So just a huge thank you to the providers out there. But also as a representative of a public school system, and the same would be said for Harlem or anything else. The work that we do in the ages under 5, so not only our preschool program, but most importantly, what we're talking about today for under 3, really sets the foundation for learning that takes place in school. Districts by and large, they do what they're supposed to do as far as grow children a year at a time. Right. And so, to try to make up development or skills after they enter kindergarten is really a huge task. So the more we can do to wrap our arms as a community around our early learners, those children prenatal through age 5 and their families, to help support them so that they have the resources they need, the knowledge they need, the really strong relationships they need. So they're not doing this in isolation, will only let our young children enter kindergarten really ready to learn, which is really what this is all about. It's about making sure that our parents have what they need, are confident, are supported. When you think about a long time ago, there used to be huge families of aunts and uncles and grandmas and things around helping support. And now with, our population so spread out and things like that, the support that we get from programs like these is so incredibly important. And so again, just really the focus of making sure that families are connected with what they need when they need it, meeting them when they're at, where they're at. And I love how all of the providers today provided information on the way they support the families. And I think that helps take away the scariness, right, of having somebody, coming in your home and things like that. And we're really just here to provide those supports. So again, just I'm going to put a plug out for Winnebago County Health Department. All these programs, anybody listening, it can't be like, ooh, where do I want to go? Really, you go to iGrow. You go to iGrow, you connect with iGrow. If you're interested in services, if you're interested in learning more about any of these programs, if you connect with them, they talk about that single point of entry. They know our programs. They know where we have openings, things like that. And so you connect with iGrow and they will make sure that they connect you with one of us. So you don't have to be like, where do I go? Who do I call? You can do any of that. Obviously, you could also connect with one of the direct providers if you wanted to, but I really highly suggest that you use the coordinated intake system. That's what it's there for. And so we really want to make sure that we have all of our vacancies, all of our seats full, that we have really waiting lists. While they might be yucky, would be a great thing to expand services in the area. And, that's hard coming back from COVID. And so really for all of you out there, if our parents on call, you've obviously enjoyed the program, please share the word. You are our best ambassadors for sharing our program, as well as anybody listening. So again, big thank you. Again, as a public school representative, all the work you're doing is really helping us have children enter the public school system or private school systems really ready to learn. And that's what we want. We want strong foundations for our children and really strong relationships with our families. So thank you all for doing this, and have a great afternoon.
All right. I'm muted. I caught myself that time. Thank you again, Kimberly. Like, she just wrapped up our show. Like, I feel like we all can go home at this point. Katie, are there any questions in the chat? What questions do we have? Like, even amongst the people on the call in this space, do we have any questions to any of our other partnering agencies while we're looking for questions on Facebook? Is there anything you would like to learn more about from another agency or program on this call? No. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask just some random questions for our public. when we were talking earlier, we mentioned evidence-based programs and evidence-based research practices. Can somebody volunteer and explain what evidence-based means? I think our public would like to know. I'm going to put Miss Kimberly back on the spot and see if she wants to define evidence-based for us.
Actually, I was wondering if one of our program supervisors wanted to as well. I mean, I can, basically the curriculums, any of the curriculums that we use have been researched, and they've been found that if you implement them with fidelity. So if programs use the curriculum as intended, or even the models. So most all of these programs have models. Early Head Start has a model. We have a model with Parents as Teachers, Healthy Families America. It's also the model that's a part of it, right? It's the frequency of the visits. It's support we provide to our parent educators and the training and reflective supervision. So there's a lot of different working pieces to this. But the idea behind these evidence-based programs is that if we implement them with fidelity, meaning we do what is outlined for us, what the framework is, right? So we do what we're supposed to do with the frequency and intensity that we're supposed to do it. There's been research to show that there's good outcomes for young children and families. And that's what we want to do. And I think for the public to know that we're not just making it up. Like, it's not like, ooh, we were parents, and so we're doing something. Like, no, there is a method to the madness, so to speak. And there's the ongoing training and really looking at what research is saying that, we can put into practice. And so all of these programs that we all, are using, we may be using something a little different, but they're all based on sound child development. They're all based on building strong relationships with families. And then really that frequency of meeting families where they're at. Some programs maybe have more frequent visits, others may have less frequent. And then you also have the flexibility. Program administrators, if you'd like to either correct me or add, that would be great. And I hope I answered that question, Jaleesa, for you.
No, perfect. I'm still waiting for those supervisors to pipe up and say something, though. That's what this long dramatic pause is for. If anybody else wants to chime in. I don't know.
I thought
Go
Kim
ahead,
did a
Kristen.
wonderful job. I thought Kim did a wonderful job explaining that. I like to think of it as like, she mentioned like the framework is like a rubric. Like the model, they're not like testing us on our fidelity. It's just like a rubric to follow. And so they want to make sure that we're kind of following that. And that's how I kind of frame it with staff, is like, not like a test, but we know what we're supposed to be doing based on this research and the evidence-basedness of it. And so if we follow that, the idea is that we'll have a successful program and be providing that great support to our families.
Awesome. Another general question that the public may have. So for a lot of these home visiting programs, they start prenatal or birth to about age 3, possibly up to the age of 5. How does this connect with some of the preschool programs in our area? Like, if you're in the Head Start or the 0 to 3, do you automatically get into like the preschool programs? What does that link look like?
So I can address that as the public school person, and I would imagine, next week when Harlem's on, it'll be very similar. So we work really hard on helping to transition our families into preschool. So Rockford Public Schools, for the families that live within the Rockford Public School District area, we work with our Head Start partners, as well as any of the other home visiting agencies to help transition the kids. For our district boundaries, our central office, we have an early childhood screening and placement office there. We're the single point of entry then for public preschools into the school. I know that we've worked just within my own program, kind of a warm handoff, and I believe Early Head Start. So Chris, I'm gonna look at you for a minute. I believe Early Head Start does the same thing, where we do a connection with our family support services. So in preschool, it shifts from doing the work in the home to doing the work with the kids at school, but we still have a connection to our families. It may not be weekly home visits, but we have family support services that can continue with home visits, can continue to connect families with additional resources. It's just the focus has gone from an at-home parent session to now the children are in school with teachers. And so our family support bridge the home and school together. So one of the things we do is we try to have our family support staff that are preschool family support attend a home visit with their, home visitor in the birth to 3 program. And then likewise, if there's a school visit or things like that, the home visitors can come too for that initial, hey, let's take a tour around the school. And again, we can do that with any of the other programs too, if that's something that they want to start building in or bridging with our preschool program, because that warm handoff is super important. So families feel the transition and feel the importance of, like AKA a graduation. It's not a true graduation, but you're transitioning from one program to another. And we want to make sure that families feel supported during that time. So yeah, I mean, as long as there's openings, things like that, priority, I can tell you for the school district, priority will always be to try to get our families enrolled. Like if we get to the point of a waiting list and a child's turned 3 after September 1st, we'll do our best to get them in right away. And, as long as there's an opening, that's not an issue. Chris, anything else you want to add from Head Start?
Oh, this is Amy. I can speak. I prepared this part, so Chris doesn't have to do the work for me. So in early Head Start, when the child turns 30 months, we start that discussion. What's the transition going to look like? And I think one of the reasons why we do start it 6 months out is we've been in the home for most of them, since the parent was pregnant. They've had us around for 2.5 years. This is a big transition for the family in general, not just the child. So we have that discussion about what the preschool programs are in the area, and what we cover all of Winnebago County. So we do have kids that end up going to Harlem schools. We have kids that go to Rockford Public Schools. Then we have kids that go to the Head Start Rockford Public School collaboration classrooms. We have some kids that end up going to private preschool. So that's just a discussion to have with each family. And then as the 3rd birthday approaches, we're going to assist them with any enrollment paperwork, any screenings that they may need done. Like Isla said, she needed transportation to those screenings. We went with her for those meetings. They're going to need that physical to start preschool. So let's get that physical scheduled. Let's get you to that physical. What paperwork do you need? We're going to make sure all those documents are in order, just to make that whole process a little more streamlined, and to be there to support the parent through that, because it is such a big transition for the family as a whole.
Thank you. Very informative. So 2 things that I would love for us just to talk real briefly about before we go ahead and wrap it up is the Winnebago County Health Department. We use the word coordinated intake, like one point of entry. It's also another language, some other language that we used on this call in regards to the bridging process. Anybody from the health department want to explain what the coordinated intake, what does that mean? Is this, just to clarify, if I'm pregnant or I have a recently newborn child, I just call one phone number. I call the line at 815-720-4200. And you guys take me to walk me through the program. And then once I'm ready for preschool, RPS, I just call one phone number again, and I'm getting connected to all the resources. Or are there different places I need to go? Are there different other people that I need to call?
Shalicia, I think you pretty much summed it up. My name is Shireen Boyd from Winnebago County Health Department. Pretty much everything you said is on point, is accurate. We do serve as coordinated intake, centralized services for accessing home visiting programs. So you are correct. There is a general number that one can call, the 815-720-4000. And if they're interested in home visiting, that information I can give them. I try to take as much time to explain programs, information I can give them. I try to take as much time to explain programs, information I can give them. I try to take as much time to explain programs,
Hey, Katie.
information I can give them. I try
Katie,
to take
Guys,
as
I'm
much
for
not
some reason,
sure.
Shireen's on loop.
information I can give them.
I'm
I
not
try to
sure why that's
take as much
happening.
Shireen's on loop.
I'm not sure why that's happening.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Technology, it helps make this so much easier how we're all in different agencies come together, but sometimes it has its own complications. Well, I am not seeing any other chats in this space. Forgive us if there's any chats on Facebook. Neva, are you able to double check our social media to see if there's any chats? Or it looks like Katie may have corrected our problem we were having with
Yeah,
tech.
there's no questions on social media.
Okay, awesome. Well, I want to just extend a special thank you to all of our agencies, speakers, and families that joined us today. More importantly, we thank each and every one of you who tuned in to either watch live or who are watching after the fact or spreading this information along to somebody who needs it. We really do hope that you found something value in our discussion today, and we look forward to you joining us next month on August 25th for It Takes a Village Part 2, Support and Parenting. So each agency will have time to explain the wonderful services that they provide. If this is your first time, we encourage you to like our Facebook, Keeping Moms and Babies Alive, watch our past webcasts, especially our first episode where we did the data walk. Thank you again, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Everybody take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.